Hello, my name is Tanya Adams, and I am the Willowbrook Kids Assistant here at the Madison campus. We're so grateful that you are joining us for our daily devos, and today we're in the book of Judges, chapter 16. This is the chapter where, dun dun dun, Samson meets Delilah. Verse 4 says, "Afterward it happened that he fell in love with a woman whose name was Delilah." You really think about it, though, Delilah probably wasn't the best gal to fall for. I mean, she was like gunning for his downfall the entire time. She kept begging him to tell her the source of his strength, and while he threw her off a couple of times, eventually he just caved in and was like, "Hey, if you cut my hair off, I'll be just as weak as any dude out there." So eventually he falls asleep. She does get somebody to cut his hair, and he wakes up to the sound of Delilah shouting, "The Philistines are upon us!" I imagine that Samson probably rubbed the sleep out of his eyes and was thinking, okay, been there, done that, I got this, until he realized that all his strength was gone. He was taken captive, he was bound, he was blinded, he was forced to work for his enemies. And our story ends with Samson regaining his strength long enough to knock down some pillars, kill the Philistines and himself while he was at it. Look, we already learned that Samson is a special guy. He was set apart for God's work. He just made bad decisions. He was often led by his flesh. He was often led by his own desires. You know, James warns us about that in the New Testament. In James 1:14, he says, "We are tempted by the evil things we want. Our own desires lead us away and trap us." But you know something? Just like Samson, we are special. We are set aside as believers for God's work. We are called to pick up our cross daily and follow Jesus wherever he leads us. But sadly, oftentimes, we are, just like Samson also, led by our flesh, led by our own desires. And that can get us into trouble. That can trap us. It can make us leave us feeling unfulfilled, and it can lead us off the path that God desires for us. So think about it. Is there anything that you are strongly desiring that might not be God's will for your life? Is there something that you are seeking after harder than you are seeking after the Lord? Hey, God is so incredibly good. Can we trust him to be that good God in our lives, that good dad? And can we lay down our own desires and ask him what he desires for us instead? I mean, he's already told us that he desires that all things work for our good and for his glory. He is a good God. We can trust him with our desires. We can trust him that his will for our life is the best plan. We can lay down our own desires. We can trust him because he knows us so much better than we could ever know ourselves. And he loves us so much more than we could ever imagine. Hey, I'm so grateful you decided to join us today. I hope you have a wonderful day.